Hello everyone, welcome back to another lesson. And in this lesson, I'm going to talk to you about the different types of searching we can utilize in QRadar. And the first one I want to show you is something called a dynamic search. Unfortunately, I cannot show you in practice how it works because I am missing things in order to complete it. But it basically, per IBM's documentation, allows you to search for data that involves aggregated functions such as count, sum, max, and AVG. For example, you can count the number of asset IDs per asset host name by using the count per function. And I'm going to link this page and all of the relevant pages regarding AQL searches to this lesson so that you guys can look at them as well. So the second type of searching that we see, it's the regular searches with filters, right? We've seen multiple examples of those filters. So we can go ahead, like I'm going to select my event processor, and for example, my log source type, I'm going to set as Microsoft Windows. Right, and I can keep filtering, I can add parameters, I can exclude, include, I can do whatever I want. And if we save the search, we can go ahead and go to edit search, find the search name, and we can also either load it, delete it, or translate it to AQL, right? Now we've seen multiple examples of AQL as well, and it can get quite difficult to learn, but I found great resources from IBM's documentation to help you learn AQL, and they also have a lot of examples there so you can copy and play around with them. And let me show you quickly one of the AQLs I recently wrote. It's a search that allows me to see from the user interface disk storage usage. So if I go ahead and run it, I can see that my store partition on my console is at 21% utilization, right? And we're basically selecting a property called element as disk name. We give it a disk name, and we're doing some calculations here. We're taking the value, we're multiplying it by 10, we are adding a percent sign, and we're calling that a value, and we're selecting it from events where the element equals to store partition and the metric ID equals to disk usage, and the device type is equals to 368, which basically means the audit logs of QRadar, if I'm not mistaken. And then we're grouping it by domain ID, ordering by value in a descending order, limiting it to 988 results for the past 15 minutes. And this can be, and this can seem a bit complicated, but I assure you that if you go ahead and create some filter searches, translate them to AQL, and play around with them, and then you go ahead and read the documentation and the examples, and you can also participate in IBM's QRadar forum and the Reddit page. You're going to quite quickly be more exposed to the full power of AQL, and even such examples that might seem a bit too complicated, you're going to be able to get their intended meaning quite quickly. So it's just a matter of practice. I know that many people find AQL to be quite intimidating, especially if you don't have any programming or scripting experience from beforehand. But believe me, it's just a matter of time. Just keep playing around with it and read the documentation and the examples. And I am convinced that in no time you'll be able to write even complicated queries and use your imagination to translate your needs into queries in AQL. So we've covered the dynamic search, we've covered filtered searches, and we've covered some more AQL. And this is it for this video, guys. And I will see you in the next one.